Hi guys, welcome back to the best vocab class you'll ever have. We have finally moved on to the last section of this vocab lecture. So we're going to move on to suffixes. So when we look at a word, we have prefix, root word, and suffix. So prefix is in the beginning of a word, and root word is in the middle, and suffix is at the end. So we're going to study suffixes. As you know, you study suffix in school. So you study in school, like if it ends with ly, it's an adverb. If it ends with y, it's an adjective. If it has like ion or ness, it's a noun. You study that in school, like in middle school, in elementary school. And we're going to get down to the bottom. We're going to look at the details. We're going to look at the examples, specific examples. So I have divided the suffix lecture into parts. So we're going to look at noun first. So as usual, we're going to look at 5 suffixes. Okay, I know that studying vocab is the most important thing, not just for your schoolwork, for TOEFL preparation, for SAT preparation, for SSAT preparation. Vocab is the essential, right? It's the building block, as you know. And studying prefix, root word, and suffixes can help you to memorize words a little faster. And you can memorize similar words at once, and you can even guess the word you see for the first time. Okay, so suffixes. We have acity at the end. We have aid at the end of the word, age at the end of the word, algia at the end of the word, ance at the end of the word. So we are going to look at nouns first. And here, acity. We have words like these: audacity, loquacity, velocity, veracity, and vivacity. So here, when you have acity or acity at the end, it means 성질의, quality of. If you study history or if you watch the news a lot, you also see the word atrocity, like being very brutal. That also ends with acity, right? So you know that that's a noun and it means quality of. Okay, audacity, that means bold, being really bold, and it's a noun. I always tell my students, when you're studying a new word, when you're looking at a word for the first time, you have to double, triple check and see if it's a noun, is it an adjective, is it a preposition, is it an adverb? You always have to double check. This is a noun. Audacious can be an adjective. Audacity is a noun. Boldness or daring. Let's look at the example sentence. His audacity in speaking out against the corruption won him many admirers. We are going to look at lers later on. It means people. So admire를 하는 사람들. So people who admire you. So he had this very bold speech. So his audacity against the corruption, 부패에 반하는 speech won him many admirers. Okay, loquacity, it means talkative. Obviously, talkative plus noun form. 수다, 답변. The quality of being very talkative. That's why we have this definition here, right? The quality of being very talkative. Her loquacity often made her the center of attention at social gatherings. So this is also a noun, right? So when we had social meetings, because she talked a lot, she got attention, loquacity. And velocity, I know this word is a little more familiar, right? Velocity means speed. And when you move on to middle school, high school, when you study for TOEFL, SAT, you no longer use the word speed. You start to use the word velocity. So it means 빠른 속도. The speed in a given direction, the velocity of the river increased after the heavy rains. So when it rains a lot, the water volume increases, and when you have bigger water volume, the speed increases. Okay, veracity, it means speaking truly, 진실성 in Korean. Conformity to facts, accuracy or truthfulness. Okay, so we are looking at a city at the end, right? It becomes a noun. Okay, conformity. Conform means to follow. So conform means to obey, to follow, and we have a noun form, conformity to facts. Okay, his reputation for veracity earned him the trust in his trust of his colleagues. It's pronounced colleagues. So his colleagues trusted him because he was always truthful, because of his veracity. This is a noun. Okay, vivacity. Whenever we have a word with V, it has to do with being lively, right? Vigorous means lively. Okay, vivacity, lively, 쾌활함. Being attractively lively and animated, like you're upbeat, you're a little bit hyperactive. The botanical garden was teeming with vivacity of blooming flowers. Okay, botanical garden, wherever you go, any country you go, you have a famous botanical garden. Any city you go, you can have a botanical garden with plants. And teeming with means being filled with vivacity, liveliness. Obviously, it's a noun, right? Blooming, 막꽃 피는 flowers. That's vivacity. Okay, and we have words that end with aid. Brigade, cascade, escapade, parade, renegade. So we have words that end with aid. Again, they are noun forms. Okay, so if they end with aid, it means action or process. Many of the suffixes, meaning noun, they talk about the process and they talk about the result of the process, but I have included some exceptions as well. Okay, brigade, cascade. Okay, let's look at them one by one. Brigade is troop. 군대의 여단 or 단체. So we have two meanings. Okay, I tell this to my students every day. When you look at an English word, if you only study one definition of that word, you're still a beginner. If you want to go to intermediate level, when you want to go to the advanced level, you must study the second meaning, the third meaning, the fourth meaning. Only then you're truly advanced, right? So here I have included two definitions. You have to study two definitions. Okay, a large group of people, often part of an army or organized for a specific purpose. Okay, so brigade means a troop, a group of soldiers, a group of organization. The fire brigade arrived swiftly to extinguish the blaze. Okay, blaze means big fire. Extinguish means to kill the fire. So the brigade, the group that was purposely made to deal with fire, arrived swiftly, quickly to cut off the fire. Okay, cascade. Cascade has two meanings. It means small waterfall. It's not just limited to waterfall. We can also talk about events that happen in sequence, in procession. So the waterfall or series of small waterfalls, a process whereby something is successfully passed on. The cascade of events following the announcement led to widespread change. Okay, so I have used this not just to mean waterfall, but to talk about succession of events. So the cascade of events, the succession of events following the announcement led to a widespread change, meaning it had a big ramification, it had a huge effect. The announcement was just one word, right? One sentence, but it had a huge effect. Okay, escapade. Escapade means a prank. 무모한 장난. I love this word. I love the way it sounds, escapade. An adventurous, unconventional, or mischievous act or undertaking. The children's escapade ended with a scolding from their parents. So they acted out and they got caught and they got in trouble, right? So instead of using words like, oh, they acted out, I mean, that's not a bad expression, but you can, if you want to use a noun, we can use escapade. Okay, parade. I know you guys know this, parade. To show, to display, that's the etymology. Okay, in Korean, we also have a fancy word, 열병식. You will see this word in the news about North Korea. They sometimes have the parade. Okay, public procession. This is also a very important word that you have to know, procession. So we use the word parade, we use the word procession. 요거, procession, very important. In reading passages, especially like, for example, when we read about Egypt and we see the carvings on the wall, it has procession images, right? We use the word procession. The Independence Day parade featured colorful floats and marching bands. Yes, I know you guys are already familiar with marching bands. I know many Korean students join marching bands when they study abroad. Okay, renegade it's a noun, but the etymology is deny, but it's a noun, so it's a person who denies the conventional wisdom. 변절자, 이탈자. A person who betrays an organization, country, or set of principles. Okay, this is a political word. It sounds very negative, but depending on the context, it could denote a hero. So it really depends on the context. But it refers to a person who goes against traditions or established rules. She was considered a renegade for her unconventional views and actions. Okay, so she is a renegade, outlaw. But if the law was right and just maybe, then she should be considered an outlaw. But if the law was really bad and unfair, and if the law was unfair to those underprivileged, then we can say that she's a hero, right? So anyway, renegade is a person who denies the established rules. Okay, age, we have words that end with age. Again, they're all nouns, right? Blockage, coverage, heritage, passage, wreckage. So you might be familiar with some of these words. Let's look at them. When you have the word ending with age, it again denotes nouns, meaning action, process, result, and state. So we have blockage, 장애물. Okay, the obstruction that prevents movement or flow. The blockage in the pipe caused the basement to flood. This one is simple, right? Because block, we know what block is. And we have age, so it's made into a noun. Okay, coverage, again, we know what cover means. And we have age at the end, so coverage. Cover is a verb. It could be used as a noun, but cover plus age, so it's made into a proper noun. So coverage means 보도 or 범위. Okay, what does it mean? It means newspaper coverage. And this is range. Okay, the extent to which something is covered, reported, or included. The book offers broad coverage of the subject matter. So this book, for example, this book, imaginary book, covers a lot, extensively, about one subject, one topic. So we can use this word. The book offers broad coverage of the subject matter. And as I said, we can use the word news coverage. And we can also mean range. Okay, let's look at the third example, heritage. The etymology is to inherit. Inherit is to pass down to next generation, pass down to posterity. In Korean, we call this 유산. Okay, it's traditions that are part of the history or a group or nation. So example sentences, they're proud of their cultural heritage. So we can easily assume what it means because we have inherit, and plus age meaning noun, right? So we can guess what it means by looking at the word. We know what age is. It denotes noun form, herit to inherit. Okay, passage. Passage is stop plus age meaning noun, right? There are two definitions, 통로, 복도, or 길. As you know, this can actually have an abstract application as well. A way of exit or entrance. The narrow passage led to a secret room. So you had a small aisle that led to the secret room. Okay, wreckage. We have wreck and we have age. So shipwreck. When there is a shipwreck, obviously, we have the debris, right? 사고, 잔해. So it's wreck plus age meaning noun form. Remains of something that has been badly damaged. So the wreckage of the plane was scattered over a wide area. So we have wreck and we have age, right? Meaning 잔해들 is a noun form. Okay, next one. I know this one is less familiar, but I thought it's worth it to look at it at least once. So we have algia at the end of the words here. Arthralgia, cardialgia, myalgia, neuralgia, and othalgia. We have a familiar word. It's called arthritis. It's one of the familiar name of an illness, right? Arthritis means 관절염, so it is related to that. And cardio means heart, right? It is related to that. Okay, let's look at it. When you have a word that ends with algia, it means pain or a painful condition. 고통, 고통스러운 상태. So they're all illnesses, name of the specific illnesses. I'm not saying that you have to memorize them, but I'm saying that if you see a word that ends with algia, you know what it is. Oh, it's a name of an illness. So now you can guess and you can interpret the passage a little more accurately. Okay, so we are talking about joints, like your bones, and pain, so 관절통. Pain in one or more joints. She experienced severe arthralgia in her knees after running a marathon. So if you see this sentence anywhere for the first time, you're like, huh? What is arthralgia? Does it have to do with arthritis? Maybe. Algia. Oh, Laura teacher said that it's related to pain. So it must be pain in your joints. Okay, so we can guess what it means. Okay, cardialgia, heart plus pain, 심장통, heartburn or pain in the region of the heart. We know cardio muscles, right? We see that a lot, quite frequently. So we know that cardio is related to heart, so it's heart pain. After eating spicy food, she suffered from cardialgia. I completely understand because I'm not very good at eating spicy food, but spicy food is very popular in Korea. Okay, next one. Myalgia, it means muscle plus pain, 근육통, so muscle pain. So now instead of saying I have muscle pain, you can say myalgia, but it has to be severe if you want to use that word. She complained of myalgia after the strenuous exercise sessions. Okay, neuralgia, so we know nerves, right? Nerve system. So here we have algia denoting pain, noun form. So in Korean we call this 신경통, intense intermittent pain along the course of a nerve. Intermittent means 간헐적으로. So intense, so severe, 강한, 극심한, 간헐적인 pain in the course of a nerve. So your nerve system is affected. The neuralgia can cause severe pain that impacts daily activities. So it means it's quite severe, right? Because your daily activities are affected. Otalgia, it means ear plus pain. So you have severe pain in your ear, we can use this word, or when you see this word, we can predict, oh, it's ear plus pain. The child was crying due to otalgia from an ear infection. So children are more vulnerable to ear infection. So we can use or we can understand the word otalgia. Okay, we have ance at the end. They're all noun forms. We have attendance, compliance, endurance, maintenance, resistance. Okay, this is like a little easy part to move on to. I know that you guys are already familiar with all these words, right? It's okay if you're not yet familiar. We can study them one by one. So ance, when you have the word ending with ance, 상태, 품질, 행동, state, quality, condition, or action. Okay, attendance. The verb is attend, right? Attend. You have to attend the meeting. Are you attending today's class? And noun form is attendance. The etymology is quite interesting. It means to give attention to, right? To pay attention to. 출석, 참석, the act of being present at a place. The teacher took attendance at the beginning of each class. So when I attended English class, like English school for the first time, I found it really interesting because when teacher calls out the name, you have to say here, right? And then if you're not there, you say absent. Somebody else says absent. So I thought here that comment was interesting. Anyway, they take attendance, right? The verb is attend, and we have ance at the end, making it a noun. Compliance, okay. The verb is comply, ending with y, C-O-M-P-L-Y, comply. And we have ance at the end, compliance. So it's made into a noun form. 준수, 따름. That sounds a little confusing, but this is easy. The act of conforming to a rule, standard, or law. Now you know what conform is because I talk about this all the time. Conform means to obey, so obeying the rules. Compliance with the new policy is mandatory. Mandatory means you must. Obligatory, duty, you must, mandatory. So compliance with the law, with the new policy is mandatory means you have to follow the new policy or there will be a penalty. Okay, endurance. The verb is endure, right? You endure, 견디다. So plus ance, making into a noun. So endurance becomes a noun form. 인내력, 참을성, ability to withstand hardship or adversity. Adversity means exactly the same. This also means difficulties. The marathon tests the endurance of the endurance of even the fittest athletes. Okay, here, tests is used as a verb. So marathon이 시험합니다. The endurance of even the fittest athletes. 굉장히 체력이 좋은 운동선수들의 인내력도 시험합니다. That's what it means, right? So fit means if you say I am fit, that means you're very healthy. You can run well. You are good at sports. That's what it means, right? Okay, maintenance. The verb is maintain, and we have ance at the end. So maintain, 유지하다, becoming a noun form. So 유지, the hold in the hand. The act of keeping something in proper condition, that is maintenance. Regular maintenance of the machinery is essential to avoid breakdowns. So we have word maintenance in business lectures a lot, especially in TOEFL. When we hear business marketing lectures, we hear this word a lot. So it seems regular maintenance is very important. Resistance. Okay. You know this. Resist. 저항하다. That's the verb form, right? Resist. And we have ance at the end, making into a noun. So resistance. 저항, 반대. Refusal to accept or comply with something. Comply means to obey, right? So you refuse to accept, 받아들이는 것을 거절하거나 따르는 것을 거절하거나. The protesters showed strong resistance to the new law. So here we have ER meaning people. So protest를 하는 사람들, protesters showed strong resistance, 강한 저항 to the new law. Okay, so these are the suffixes we looked at. So suffixes are not that difficult, I guess, compared to the other parts we've covered so far. But if you know what they mean, you know, your life can be easier, made easier. I emphasize vocabs because I teach a lot of students, help them prepare TOEFL, for SAT, for schoolwork. And many students say this to me. They confess, oh, if I know the words, I think I'll be fine. If I know all the definitions of the words, I can get everything right. That's what my students tell me, right? So what does that mean? It boils down to vocabs. And they're like, oh, how do I study vocabs? You study vocabs in many ways, but this is one of the ways that can help you to study vocabs more efficiently, more effectively. So we study prefix, root words, and suffixes. So here today we looked at 5 suffixes, acity, algia, 성질을, aid, 동작, 과정, age, 행동, 과정, 결과, 상태, algia, 고통, ance. The important thing is that they are all noun forms, right? 명사를 나타내는. Okay, so let's revise. So we have 5 words that end with acity or algia, right? So audacity, it means very bold. Loquacity, you talk a lot. Velocity is speed. Veracity is being truthful. Vivacity is being very lively. Okay, we have words that end with aid, brigade, cascade, escapade, parade, renegade. Okay, brigade means troop, especially the women's group or an organization. Cascade is a small waterfall, but it also refers to the events that happen in sequence. Escapade is 장난, like a prank. Parade is the procession. I said that. The word procession is really important. You have to memorize that. Renegade is a person who disobeys the law. Okay, blockage, coverage, heritage, passage, wreckage. We have words that end with age, right? Okay, blockage, 장애물, like hindrance. Coverage, newspaper coverage or range. Heritage is like cultural heritage. We inherit from our ancestors. Passage, 통로, 복도, or the way. And it can also be used in abstract context. Wreckage, we have wreck plus age. So after a shipwreck, we have the wreckage. After car accident, we have wreckage. Okay, we have words that end with algia. Arthralgia, cardialgia, myalgia, neuralgia, and othalgia. That means illness, right? Arthralgia is related to your joints. Cardialgia is related to your heart. Myalgia related to your muscles. Neuralgia related to your nerves. Othalgia is related to your ear. And last 5, we have words that end with ance, attendance, compliance, endurance, maintenance, and resistance. Attendance, attend plus ance, right? So 출석, compliance, comply, 따르다 plus ance. Endurance, endure plus ance, it made into a noun. Maintain plus ance, right? Maintenance, resist plus ance. So these verbs are turned into nouns by using ance at the end. So please memorize these, right? And organize the prefixes, root words, and suffixes so that your job of memorizing words becomes easier. Okay, you did a very good job today. Please revise and come join me in the next lecture. 수고했어요. 안녕.